Walking and running are supposed to be just one of those things that everyone can just do. Yet so many issues like foot pain with plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis, shin splints, knee pain, hamstring strains, bursitis, hip and back pain are ridiculously common. In this video, I'm going to give you the best exercises for your feet, hips, balance and stability to address those issues or avoid them altogether. And top tip, the ones that you find most challenging will be the ones that help you the most. Let's get stuck in. How well can you control your toes? So what we want to see is, can you push the big toes down and hold them down like this with the little toes up? And then can you have the little toes down but keep the big toes up like this? And then are you able to do that with good control without having to roll your feet outwards or inwards to do either? So big toes down, little toes up, and then little toes down and big toes up. This is called toebility, and it's really important for those intrinsic muscles of the feet. If I asked you to touch your fingers to your thumb like this independently, you'd probably not find it that hard, but a lot of people really struggle to control your toes. So it's a little fun thing that you can work on every day, but there's tons of benefits of it, especially for strengthening your arches as well. So practice toebility as much as you can. Next, get something to hold on to. I'm using a rig post. You can use a dining room chair or a kitchen counter, just something to take balance out of it. And what we're looking to do here is make a big circle with a calf raise. So I go up to one side and then I bring everything across to the middle. Then I go down the opposite side and I return back to the start. And then I repeat that and go in the opposite direction, trying to get as much range as I can and almost going into bad positions, because if you have no strength at those angles and you all of a sudden step on a weird rock or something, an unsteady surface, and you have to move your ankle in a weird way and you're not used to it, you're kind of fluffed. So what we want to do is strengthen those weird positions. Then when we've worked on that, we can also work on our standard strict up and downsies as well. So still holding on, we're not working on balance just yet. And you'd want to do calf raises with your feet forwards like this. Go up as high as you can and then come back down with control, nice and slowly. So 10 reps up and down like this is really nice. And then change the angles. So point your toes outwards like this. And same idea, go up as high as you can and back down. Good solid 10, get a nice burn. And then point the toes in at each other, same idea, up and down for a nice 10. And you can also do single leg variations of that too, where you can go up as much as you can and back down and just keep the other foot up the whole time. A nice little life hack is to swap to barefoot shoes. These are super bendy, and that just gives you that extra space for your feet and your toes to be able to move all of the time, day to day as well. Your feet are your foundation, and if they are weak, then literally everything else upstream will suffer. You don't want your feet to be sensitive, and you want to make sure you have built strength up in them so that whenever you're on your feet for longer periods of time, you will not feel like they're being aggravated. I'm a big believer in wearing whatever footwear that you want. Just make sure that you're also doing good foot strengthening exercises as well. If you are going to make the transition to wearing barefoot shoes, make sure to do it gradually, like a day on and then a day off, to gradually nudge your feet to getting used to them. But once you do get used to them, you will actually find that normal shoes feel quite restrictive. With walking and running, there's not a lot of full range movement with your joints. So yes, it's very good for you, it makes you healthy, helps the heart and the lungs and all that, but you have to think, even when you're running, like your leg maybe comes up this high whenever you're able to get into deep hip flexion like this. So we want to respect that with mobility drills. So one of the best ones you can use daily is the 90-90 position. And that's when we have one leg externally rotated and one leg internally rotated like this. It's just a great position to get into and sit in and swap from side to side. And it really works on your hips in that nice full range position. If you struggle to do this, you can just keep the hands down, bring the feet in a little bit, and you're able to use your hands to assist you and just move your upper body around, and you'll start to stretch the hips. You can focus on one side at a time as well. Just work on the external rotation like this, or you can take that out of the equation and just work on the internal rotation like this as well. Just make sure to do both sides. And if you find a different side to side, spend longer on your tighter side. Now, when it comes to your deep hip flexion and your hip extension, a really nice position to use is the deep lunge. So from here, you bring one foot up beside like this. And then from there, we can wiggle ourselves around and try and open up inside of the hip here. And we're trying to get nice and deep into the hips. And then from this back leg, we're looking to push this back and get a nice stretch at the front here. So this works on your hip flexion of the front leg. This works on your hip extension on the back leg. You can move around, relax your breathing, drop your body down a little bit more. And then what we want to see is, can you get your elbow down beside your heel on that same side like this? So this is the deep lunge test. You want to see, are you able to get that elbow all the way down on each side? So if we swap sides, go to the other side, same again. We go up, big breath out. See, can you get that elbow down beside the heel? And that shows you've got good hip flexion. Great one to work on if you're stuck halfway up the shin, you're really struggling to get down. Work on it every day, do some reps up and down like that. It will start to improve. Last thing we can do, another little hack, if you have a door frame. Of course you got a door frame, everyone's got door frames. You can hold on to it and you can lower yourself down and just use that to get into a nice deep squat like this. Without feeling like you're gonna fall over, you can use this to hold yourself up and just move yourself around and get nice and deep into the hips, which helps to put a nice little spring in your step. Tightness in your hips can lead to loads of compensations, and ultimately your joints are going to take the punishment from that. Inflammation can happen gradually from you loading your joints in a less than favorable way, and it's basically your body's way of shouting, hey, do the boring Tom Morrison mobility stuff. Trust me, there is nothing more boring than having to wait for 6 weeks because something is so irritated that you can barely move it or put pressure on it. For balance and stability, I really love the plate balance drill. So what I've done here is stacked up a couple of weight plates, and I'm trying to get my heel of my left foot lower than where the toes are. So I'm getting the balance in a lengthened position. So this works on single leg stability, and your body has to correct itself like crazy here. When you've done one side, you then swap over and do the other side, and you're looking for imbalances here too. If your balance is really good in one foot but not the other, spend longer on the weaker side. Then we can work on both feet beside each other like this as well. So how often do you get the balance with both feet beside each other? It's absolutely awesome. So I'm using some weight plates here. If you don't have any kind of plates, you can use either a tall fireplace at home, you can use your stairs at home, just make sure it's the bottom step, not the top step, or if you've got some really thick sturdy books, you can build them up and use them to balance as well. After that, we've then got our single leg drop down drills. So from here, single leg deadlift position looks like this. And this is to really get the hamstring going and to load the hips as well. What we're looking to do is drop down into that at speed. So make sure you've practiced your deadlift positions first, and then practice your single leg deadlift, and you're able to come up and go back down like this. Then we're going to add a bit of speed into that. So we go up on our tippy toes like this, and then we try and drop down into that single leg deadlift position and try and be steady and stable when we land. So what we don't want to see is that we'll be up like this and we go down and we'd have to hop, or we'd start twisting like that with our hair in our mouth too. Tie your hair up first, it's a health hazard. So from here, we're back up again and we try and drop down at speed, boom, and we're in position and we're able to hold it, and the hamstring feels strong as well. Lovely, lovely drill to work on. Last thing we can do is use our shoes as a little marker, and we can do a hopping and landing drill. So what we want to do is separate them out at a little distance. From here, we go on one leg like this in like a hopping stance. Then we're going to change legs and try and land level with the shoe like that. And then we change, land level with the shoe. Once we've got the hang of that, whoop, and we're not wobbling too much, we can then start to add an extra hop in when we land. And our goal is to try and hop, and land in line with the shoe. So see here, I came in a little bit. We want to go hop, land in line with the shoe. So we're practicing our coordination as well. So if I was to go hop and land over here somewhere, that's not what we want. We want to try and land at the same position, hop, rebound, land, and absorb the force again. If your body gets better at absorbing impact, it stops feeling so beat up whenever you go for longer distances or something just out of the ordinary. The more you wobble, the better. You want your body to be able to correct itself without you having to think. There's a reason the pros use all of those weird ladders and speed agility drills. You don't need to be the best at them, but being a little bit gooder is always a good idea. For the hip stuff, I would aim to do that daily. Always have in the back of your mind, have I moved my joints fully today? 5 minutes is plenty to work on this stuff, and you get extra bonus points if you do it just before a walk or a run. The footwork is largely skill-based, so I would aim to practice that 2 to 4 times per week. Warm up with the Toebility and calf raise stuff, and then go into the drop and land and hopping drills. You want to do 3 to 5 reps. These aren't exercises you're going to start to bang out sets of 20 with. The main thing with this video is to practice these drills until they feel really easy for you to do. After a couple of months, if you're really consistent, you'll find your aches and pains just disappear. If you want to take a full body approach to your mobility, then check out the Simplistic Mobility Method. It is our best-selling program with over 50,000 people using it worldwide. You can check it out at tommorrison.uk.